Today we're gonna create an underwater skull photo using Photoshop. Hey there, my name is Ali. Today's tutorial is gonna be a little bit hard, but it's gonna be fun and you're gonna learn a lot. So stay with me. Okay, I'm dragging the first photo. These photos, I'm gonna link them in the description. I'll check what size is that photo. It's too big actually. I'm gonna reduce the size by something like that, a little bit from up. And I will create something like that. And there we go. This is our top part. However, we need unlink the background layer. We need to create the bottom part, so I'll delete this. But now I need the top part and bottom part equal, so I'm gonna just copy this one here. They're actually equal, but I'm just gonna like reduce the size of that one a little bit, something like that. Okay. Now we need to like edit the top part first, then we're gonna jump to the bottom part. But first, let me reduce the size of this one a little bit, something like that. Okay. Okay, let's start editing the top part. I'm gonna add a levels adjustment layer, or like I'll make it curves so you don't get confused. I use curves for everything. It does everything you need. I'm gonna add red in the highlights and cyan in the shadows. Okay, I'll do the same. Let me flip this one first. Yeah, so I want the light to be coming from the right side. I'll do the same, but this time I'm gonna darken everything out, something like that. And then I'm gonna press Ctrl I, make sure it's linked. Now I'm gonna burn using this tool. This is like a burn curves adjustment for me. So whenever I paint now with white, you see it's gonna burn. So let's play around and try like to make some custom shapes on that one. It's a little bit slow. Okay, let me burn some parts to give it like some sort of 3D. I'm gonna burn something like that. And the good thing about that, if it's too strong, you can always like go back and finish like change up things back again. I wanna actually completely burn this area, but this one is not strong enough, so I'm gonna do another curves adjustment layer, something like that. Link it below, Control I, and I'm gonna burn this area. You can also like use the magic wand to select this part and do it. It's another way, like instead of just like painting, but I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah, something like that. You can be more accurate if you want. I wanna actually make it even darker, something like that. So it looks like there's some sort of a hole. We can add a waterfall later from here. Okay, one more thing I'm gonna do on that layer. I'm gonna use a brush. I'm gonna use a crack brush actually. And I'm just gonna add some like sort of variation to it. But actually I made a mistake here. You see, I made the crack brush on the like the sky. I want it only to be on the like that rock. So I have to be like careful. This is not a crack brush. I have to be careful when clicking that I'm only on the not hitting anywhere in the sky. Okay, so now I created some sort of variation, like it has depth in it. Okay, one more thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a curves layer. Link it below, go to the red, add a lot of red, something like that. Then go to the blue, add some yellow. Press Ctrl I. Then using a white brush, but now a normal brush, I'm just gonna add some orange to that area. Yeah, something just like that. And then this, I believe it's too bright. So I'm gonna just go to the curves adjustments and I'm gonna make sure actually, wait. I'm gonna pull the blacks up a little bit. And then I'm gonna take the dark areas here the bright areas, sorry, I'm gonna pull them down a little bit, making sure these areas are not affected. So I'll bring it back. So only we're targeting only like the bright parts. Link it. Okay, to fix, I need this part to be bright and this one I don't need it to be bright. So on this layer, I'm gonna press Ctrl J so I have two copies. And then on that one, I'm just gonna simply go to the burn tool, make sure I'm on the highlights, and I'm just gonna burn this area out. Something like that, to get rid of just like the white we had here. Okay, I guess we're done with the top part. Let's jump to the bottom part. I have this, it's a dog skull. I don't remember actually if it was a dog skull or a bear skull. I just make sure I'm standing here before I add it, so that it doesn't get in between those layers. Okay, so now we have like our dog skull. First I need to get rid actually of the blue. So using the magic wand, okay, the magic wand did actually pretty good job. Just like we need to fix the teeth area, something like that. I don't want the teeth to go, I need them to stay with me. Okay, you can actually draw like the selection you want. You don't have like to be super precise. I'm gonna edit those teeth anyways. Something like that. Okay, let's try and see how does it look like. Okay, Control and I to invert the mask again. Okay, now we have something like that. Let me go to the marquee and let me just paint black, Control backspace. Okay, something like that is good. Okay, now I want this to remain as a copy for me, so I'm gonna Control J, I'm gonna close this one. Now I have a copy whenever I wanna go back, because now I'm gonna rasterize this one, I'm gonna apply layer mask, and then I'm gonna like play around with its shape. You can do that using the warp tool. I wanna make it like the same size as the island above, so it doesn't look any way like weird or something. Okay, something like that. However, I like another way. It's a little bit slow. Okay, I like another way, which is called the puppet warp. You go to the puppet warp in the edit menu. It gives you all these points. So I start like by adding some points at the center or any areas. And let's say I want to make this teeth a little bit longer. So after adding a lot of points, I'm just gonna pull it like that. So it's a little bit longer. Maybe I'll pull this one also. Okay, then I'll add a point here and just pull it to the left a little bit. And this point here, I'm gonna pull it inside a little bit, something like that. Okay, and let me add a point here, put it inside. Let's take that point, pull it outside. So this gives you like some sort of absolute freedom on how you wanna like move an object or something. Let me pull the teeth here. It needs to be like sharp and like, because this is like some sort of an evil thing happening below the water. Okay, so this is like the before, the after. Okay, I'm gonna Control T. I gotta like make sure it's like aligned with this one. Okay, something like that is good. I believe so. But now I wanna add the eye and maybe a nose or something. So I'm just gonna like draw some sort of an eye here, something like that. Just wanna make sure it looks like realistic. Maybe something like that. Then I'm gonna add a layer mask, Control I to invert it. Okay, now we have like some sort of like the face and the eye. Okay, now let's go to the texturing part, where I'm gonna get the texture of that thing is from the one above, actually, from that one. So I'm gonna like take all the layers we made. I'm gonna press Control J, Control E. So Control or Command J, it made another copy, Control E, it merged everything. Okay, then now I'll use my quick selection tool, and I want to get rid of the sky now and the water. I want to leave only the mountain. And it doesn't matter if you leave like some parts, like you're getting rid of some parts, it doesn't really matter. I don't want like pure 100% perfect selection. So now I masked it, but it's invert, so I'm gonna press Control and I. So now we have this sort of a layer. I'm gonna apply layer mask, Control J, I'll make 3 copies of it. Okay, the first one I'm gonna flip it vertical. I'm gonna make it a lot bigger, something like that maybe. And maybe you can stretch it out, play along with it, it doesn't matter. Just put it on it, and I'm gonna put it on top of the dog. Alt and click. So now I have that texture on top of the dog. I'll take the other one and then I'm gonna open it, flip vertical, do the exact same thing, make sure it's like hovering the whole skull, and I'm gonna press Alt and drag it below. This one I'm gonna put it to lighten. It will only leave, lighten will only leave the very bright spot. And this one I'll either put it to overlay, no, overlay doesn't work. I guess multiply. Okay. But now the issue we're facing is that it's too 2D. But we're gonna fix that later. But let me add the water so we can see how it looks like. I wanna add one thing actually, I forgot. It should have some sort of like something like that at the back. Like I saw that when I was checking like how the skulls actually look like. So I will add something like that, color it white. But then this one I need it to look like it's at the back. So I'm just gonna darken it a lot, something like that. Then I'm gonna use the burn tool, make it smaller and just darken it. Go to the shadows so it darkens. Okay, I'm on the right layer. Oh, okay, I need to darken this one and I need to darken that one too. This one actually. Okay, so now we have some sort of like a thing at the back, but it doesn't look good, so I'm gonna just like remove it. It's too narrow. I need it to be something bigger, something like that, let's say. Okay, and I'm gonna paint again white, sorry. And then I'm gonna just wait, I didn't paint on some areas. Some areas were missed, so you need like to always zoom in and zoom out to check if your selection is perfect. Okay, I changed the colors from black and white by pressing X. And now I'm painting on the layer mask. Whenever I paint white, everything comes back again. Whenever I paint black, everything disappears. So I made my selection. I'm gonna go to this one. Actually, I'm gonna go to brightness contrast and just reduce the brightness. That one too, image adjustments, brightness contrast, reduce the brightness, something like that. Okay, now it's looking good. Okay, now let's add the water. I'm gonna add the first water texture, underwater texture here. I have no idea actually how I'm gonna make this work, but we will like see. Okay, so this is the first one and let's add the other one. I believe it will like go by like trial and error. We'll keep trying until we make it work. Okay, this one, I wanna make sure they're like exactly on top of each other. Okay, and then I'm gonna increase their size a little bit. Okay, something like that. Okay, first thing here, I'm gonna add a new layer. And then I'm just gonna like, I need like to, I'll take a cloud brush or just anything, I'll take actually a brush which is already built in Photoshop so you can actually use it as well. And then I'm just gonna paint white like that. Control T, I'm gonna make it like very narrow, something like that. Put it on top of everything. And then I'm gonna put it here and I'm gonna like stretch it out all the way. So it looks like the cross section of the water, we have like some sort of a waves or water, something like that. If I close it, it's like there's a very sharp line. I don't want that, it looks fake. Okay, so let's try these ones. Let's try, okay, to put them first on overlay. Okay, overlay kinda worked, but it's too colorful. I'll make Control J, I'll make a copy for them, just in case, like, I'll try a lot of things if they don't work. Okay, I'm gonna go to image adjustments, hue and saturation. I'll try to leave the overlay, but just decrease the colors, hue saturation for both of them, and just desaturate everything. Okay. This one behind, it's too, like, it has a lot of dark areas below and a lot of bright areas down, so I'm just gonna Control T, pull it down. So some of the darkness like goes away. I tried to make it by pressing Control Shift U to completely black and white, but it doesn't work. Okay, this one also I'm gonna Control T, pull it somehow down, something like that. Actually, I'm gonna close these two, add a layer here, or maybe I'll try putting it under the main layer. And then I'm gonna color it with, let me open one of them. I'm gonna sample like this color maybe, and then I'm gonna alt backspace. Let me close this one. Okay, now I just made a color, some sort of a color. Let's make it actually even better. Let's use a gradient. Let's take a darker blue, and let's, by the first one, draw like it's on reverse, sorry. Let's draw like now from down, I'm drawing some sort of like, if you see here, like dark blue from down, because that's how water is. From up it has more light, so it's brighter, down it's darker. Okay, let's add these two layers now. I'm gonna press Control Shift U. It completely desaturated. Control Shift U, completely desaturated, but now it looks very bad. What if like we desaturate this one, like in reduce the saturation, something like that is actually good. Okay, but now the main layer, which is this one, it's too strong. If I reduce the opacity, yeah, it blends a little bit now better, but I still have the problem that the down part is too dark. So I'm gonna press Control M here. I'm gonna take the dark areas and I'm gonna just brighten them up a little bit. And the bright areas, I'm gonna dark them a little bit. Same for this one, Control M. Darken the black areas, brighten the black areas and darken the bright areas. So reduce somehow the contrast. Okay, let me stand on that one actually, and then let me add a hue saturation layer and let me press colorize. It didn't actually do anything because of the textures on top. I thought the textures would be like less strong. Let's try it again and colorize. Let's go with that blue color and pull the opacity up. And then let's take this one, reduce the opacity a little bit, and this one, reduce the opacity a little bit. So now we have some sort of blue on top of it. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to start giving this one, like the textures here, some sort of a 3D look. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the dog skull. Actually, I'm gonna press Ctrl J. So now I have two copies. I'll close the one below. So now I have this one, that copy. Okay. Now I'm gonna take just a brush, a normal brush, stand on the layer mask. I made a copy just in case something goes wrong. And using a very low opacity, I'm just gonna erase a little bit of the edges. So it looks like it's like faded out with the water a little bit, something like that. Yeah, I want to fade it out a little bit from the sides, maybe from down, maybe some a little bit from here. So it looks like it's somehow like inside the water, not something in front of the water. Okay, for example, let's say I want to make this teeth longer. And sharper. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna draw a teeth that I want, something, let's say like that. And I'm gonna paint white. On the layer mask, I'm gonna paint white. Okay, now I painted white, but the problem is that we don't have anything here. So I have to paint with any color. Oops, sorry. I need to bring back my selection. I'm gonna clone stamp from here, alt click from here and put here. So now I'm bringing back some of like the texture from here to here. Okay, let's do the same for this one. I need like some sort of like sharp teeth. I don't want anything except sharp. First, I'm gonna paint black here. I'm gonna delete it from here and there. Again, okay, I'm gonna paint black. Then I'm gonna make another selection, something like that. Sharp teeth, paint white, alt backspace, and then clone stamp from here. Okay, I like, you must leave the selection. Clone stamp from here and just add back here. Okay, so now let me again clone stamp from here, add until it's like to the complete edge, something like that. Okay, see, now we have some sort of like sharp teeth. Okay, one more thing I need to do is, I don't like that blue actually. I'm gonna get rid of this hue and saturation layer. Yeah, I don't like that blue on the thing. Okay, let me colorize this one. Let's try another way, which is color balance and adding some cyan. Okay, much better than the other one. Okay, then Now this one will like play around with the textures. I need like, if you see, if you have teeth, this part will be dark, this part will be bright. It will have some sort of variation. So now comes the role of the dodge and burn. First, I'm gonna press Ctrl J, close. Okay, link that one, close that one. So now I have a copy in case I mess up anything. Then I'm gonna make it on mid-tones with something low. So I just go slowly. Okay, now I'm gonna dodge the edges, something like that. Sorry, burn the edges, and I'm gonna hold Alt and dodge the middle parts. I'm gonna burn like places where I wanna, let's say here, I want to create some nose strill, something like that, like it has some sort of a nose. Okay, I'm gonna take the burn tool now. Now I'm gonna use a very high like exposure. Let's bring that to 100%, and I'm gonna burn that area. And then maybe on that one also, I'm gonna burn that area. Yeah, something like that. Now it looks somehow like this is like a hole in his nose. Okay, now I want to brighten. I'm gonna brighten those areas a little bit. I'm gonna brighten. I want the teeth to look more 3D, so I brighten parts, I dodge parts. Actually, okay, if you're standing on the burn tool, if you press click, you burn and make things darker. However, if you hold Alt and press click, it will make the opposite. So it will dodge instead of burn. So it will brighten. So now I'm pressing just click alone. I'm making the edges dark. Then I'll hold Alt and press click here. You see I'm making this area bright. So you don't have like to keep switching between them. Just hold Alt and add the bright area you want. Something like that. And just let me bright like, let's like think of it like where the light is gonna be hitting and add light. So this part maybe, this part. Let's add some sort of like a very dark area here maybe. Here, let's like this part, let me brighten it up so it's like it's popping out. Darken that part. Brighten this area, darken that area. Okay, in the face, I guess here we have some sort of a bone, so I'm gonna like dodge that part, like I mean sorry, burn it so it's dark and brighten that top part. See, it's just like basically dodging and burning. And if you're like not so good at it or you don't know what to do, you can always like try, and if it doesn't work, you can try again. This is like how Photoshop works, trial and error. Okay, you see now I created by just darkening and brightening some parts. Like you see now I'm gonna show you actually this one and that one. If I open this one, oh no, I can't show you actually the before and after because I did it on this layer. I didn't make copy of that one. Okay, I don't like this one. There is a problem with it, I believe. I don't know. It needs to be a bit darker and it's too sharp. So I'm gonna make a selection around it. I have a hotkey for the brightness and contrast. You can like add hotkeys from the edit, preferences, oh sorry, keyboard shortcuts, and just make anything. I go like to like image, adjustments, brightness and contrast. I have it on Control plus Q. You can do that like to go faster. Okay, so now we're almost done. Let's try to like color everything around. I actually want to do one thing before I'm done. I'm gonna stand on that one, Alt and just drag it. I made a copy of this one. Now I have a copy of that one. I'll bring it to 100%, bring it back to normal. I'm gonna flip it back vertical. And I'm gonna put it here. And I'm gonna make another copy of it here. Something like that. I'm gonna merge them by pressing Control, Command, or E, and put them to multiply. Too dark, so I'm gonna press Control M, brighten them up a little bit, something like that. Control and M with the curves, just like to do some sort of a framing and maybe reduce the opacity. Okay, now this area, if it's okay, no, I'm not gonna make it a hole actually, but okay, I forgot some dodging and burning. I guess I forgot to do the whole teeth. So I'm just gonna do it fast, dodge the edges like that, and sorry, burn. I always say dodge like instead of burn. I don't know why. So just like darken some parts, brighten some parts. Okay, and this area it needs to be like some sort of like that. So like you can see the difference. I did that actually, like I made a difference between the beginning of the teeth and the outside part, so it's like the teeth is going somehow inside. Okay, so this one here, we have this one here. Let me try playing around with this one's opacity. Okay, something like that is good. Okay, let's try to like edit the whole image now in one go. I'm gonna go to curves adjustment layer. I'm gonna pull the blacks a little bit up, pull this one a little bit down, something like that. Maybe pull this one down a little bit also, and move this to the left. Okay. Okay, that's good. One more thing I'm gonna do, add a layer. This layer, I'm just gonna use a brush and an orange color. I'm just gonna press a click like that. Gonna make that one big, something like that. Maybe even like a lot bigger. Put it to the corner. I'll try screen, but I guess, okay, screen went good actually. But I'm gonna reduce the opacity like 50%, press Ctrl J to make a copy and put that one to soft light. So one of them is soft light, one of them is screen, and I'll reduce the opacity of both. Like screen will make things brighter, soft light will add more color, or maybe overlay will add even more color. So let's stick to that. Okay, one more thing I wanna do is maybe add a gradient map. Need to color this one a little bit. I'll choose that one, which is the orange and purple. I'm gonna take the orange, I'm gonna move it a little bit towards the yellow, something like that. Then I'm gonna take the purple. I don't like that purple color, so I'm gonna move somewhere towards the green, something like that. And let's see what's gonna happen if we change it to soft light and just reduce the opacity. Okay, now it's better. I like the contrast now between like the green and the orange more. Okay, let me take a final look. I guess there's like nothing we could add to make it more interesting. Maybe like only we can do a brightness contrast, two of them. One of them we will make like -40, then Control J and make the opposite exactly. On the dark one, just use a brush, a black brush with a low opacity, and just paint wherever you want the darkness to disappear. It's going a little bit slow. Yeah, I'm gonna just paint where the darkness I want it to disappear. Okay. Okay, it's just like now it's doing the painting because this file is too big. Okay, it's done. Let's do the white one now. The white one, I'm gonna press Ctrl I so it disappears. And then using a white brush, I'm gonna paint where I want it to be brighter. So I paint it somewhere here. So this is the area where I want everything to be more clear. Okay, the last thing, Control Alt Shift, which is Command or Option and Shift, then press E. It will merge everything you have into a new separate layer. So now we can go to Filter, Camera, Raw, Filter. This will edit everything together. Okay, so now we have our photo. Let's do like final edits. I like looking at the histogram to see like the problems we have. We have a lot of burnt area. This is telling me this is completely white. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring the whites a little bit down. Maybe the highlights also a little bit down to get rid of like the very bright areas. I don't want total white. Just like if I bring it down so much, just a little bit, something like that. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of contrast so the photo looks more like contrasty. Add a little bit of clarity actually to make everything clearer. Some vibrance to add some color. Then I'll go to the FX module. You can either dehaze or haze, like fade it out or make it sharper. I'll dehaze it a little bit or maybe haze it. I'll haze it actually, something, just a little bit, something like that. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of vignette. The last thing, I'm gonna go to the camera calibration. You can play around with the colors, like make it purple, make it the yellow. I'll make it this way, so like this is more cyan and this is more reddish. And I'm gonna press OK. Okay, that's it for today's tutorial. Make sure if you like the video, make sure you like it and subscribe. And if you have any comments or anything, make sure you leave them below in the comments section. Thank you guys.